What's going on, guys? We are back tonight with another video for you, and this one's pretty cool. It's a cool little deck I put together. I'm kind of surprised it's doing as well as it is, and I've titled it Attila Machines, and it came to me off the back of this card here, Sword of Attila. When played, your Machines of War cards, wherever they are, gain 16 until played, and if played next to Attila the Hun, give them an additional 6 perm. And then your Roman cards get a little discount, which we don't really care about that much. Discounts itself, which is fine. And then Attila the Hun, when returned, gain 15 power per turn for 3 turns. And both players' Roman cards cost +4 for 3 turns. We don't really care about that. It does affect our Sword of Attila, unfortunately. But then it discounts itself another 2. So not terrible. But the main reason we want to play is for this Machines of War buff. And I've been trying to make Machines of War playable now for a while, and this is probably the closest I've got that actually does pretty decent. It's been winning quite a few games. I think I've lost 1 game out of maybe 5 or 6, so that's not bad. It's doing pretty good. A time machine, when drawn, if your deck has exactly 9 history cards, your science cards, wherever they are, get +15 until played, and vice versa. So we do have a 9-9 split here, which means we can rock Goatman as well for the extra 14 until played on our whole deck, which is nice. One of our Machines of War is M4 Sherman. When drawn, your Machines of War get +30 for the round. Also rocking Napoleon and Josephine, just for the return effect. Your Machines of War cards, wherever they are, gain 16 until played. We've got the Great Panjan Drum? I have no idea. It says, when played, your Machines of War, wherever they are, get 15 until played. And then when returned, if you won the turn, your Machines of War get an extra +8 until played. So winning is important with that card. Richard the Lionheart, when played, 6 of your random Cool Cat, Machines of War, and Unruly Rulers get 28 until played. So that's a really strong buff there. It's probably one of the ones making this deck more viable. 28 is a pretty significant buff, and we kind of filled in with Unruly Rulers, and Attila the Hun itself is an Unruly Ruler, which is nice. So it buffs Andronicus, Charlemagne, Richard. There's a lot going on there that actually works with it, so I kind of like it. Works well. Limbo, when drawn, 3 random cards in your opponent's deck, lose 25 for 3 turns. And then when returned, 3 of your random Machines of War, wherever they are, get 25 until played. So another nice buff for Machines of War. It only costs 3, too, so really nice in this deck, having a nice cheap 3-4 drops here. When played, gain 14 this round for Big Bertha. That's nice. Cannon gives us a nice early discount when we need it. Some of these 7s and 8s can muck up your hand early game until we get these 3s down. That starts building up the energy. So you can see we don't really have an energy gainer in this deck. So if we do come across like a taxing or some type of inflation deck, that's going to be where we probably don't do very well. I probably would just auto concede, but everything else we seem to be doing pretty well against. But Cannon's going to help us in that early game. Hedgehog, when played, the card opposite loses 30 perm. Pretty straightforward, just a nice Machine of War there. Same with Blunderbuss, little machine here. When drawn, 3 opponents' random cards in hand, cost +1 this turn. So just a little slight taxing there, nothing too crazy. Charlemagne, if your deck has 3 or more Unruly Rulers, your whole deck's going to get that +6 perm, which is great. Andronicus, the 29 for 9 turns when played. Got Door to Hell to try to steal around here and there for that +50 on the turn. And Richard of England, when drawn, a random card in your hand loses 25, but 2 of your opponent's random cards lose 25. And then our Unruly Rulers, wherever they are, get +16. So another nice buff for Unruly. And finally, the last filler card for a round steal. This is kind of my late game. If we go late, this card's going to help us win. When drawn for every card played by either player this game, this card gets +2 until played. So it kind of fills that cartwheel or hell slot for the late game there. Terminator, any of the big cards that are going to come down and have a nice swing to them, basically. That's all right. That's the deck. Let's go test her out. See if we can get some W's tonight. Like I said, it's been doing pretty good, so I'm hoping we can keep it up. Like I said, I've only lost 1 with it so far. Let's see what we're up against here. Probably a crazy, just because I said that, it's probably going to be some crazy meta deck now that we're going to get steamrolled on, if I had to guess. Just because, I talk the deck up. That's how it goes. I was talking to my buddy Mike at work today. So I don't know how it came up, but I mentioned to him that I had I've been sleeping on a magnet. Now, I've been doing it for years. I mean, I think I got this, my baseball coach gave it to me back when I was in high school, playing baseball as like a recovery tool. So basically it's called an earth pulse magnet that goes into your bed and kind of helps, regenerate your cells and all this stuff, kind of what magnets do or whatever. But I brought it up to him. I can't remember what we were talking about, but it came up. And I told him about it, and he's like, "Oh man, I wish you'd told me about this sooner. I'd already bought one," and yada yada. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty neat." But the main reason I bring it up is so I have it has settings on it basically that one's like a healing setting, one like triggers like different REM sleep and different things in your brain. It basically changes your brain frequency almost. And an article popped up today. I was like kind of scrolling through, checking stuff out, and one of the things that pops up was an article it was talking about the CIA from basically was trying to figure out ways to change your state of mind or your consciousness based on frequencies. And one of the ways they do it is putting you put headphones on, and one frequency goes in one ear and one goes in the other. So different frequencies apparently can make your brain, because one side of your brain is actually a different frequency than your other. So it tries to balance your brain out so that you are actually, they're both kind of working together. Is kind of the theory behind it. And supposedly this is coming from the CIA, that they did this study, and it actually opens up almost like a different state of consciousness where they were able to like tap in like into past, present, future, different almost like time dilate, not time dilation, but like time changing. I'm losing my train of thought now. But yeah, basically apparently they were able to talk to God or apparently he calls himself absolute is what they had said in the article. But it was really interesting. I was like, what? So just changing different frequencies can alter your state of mind in your head. I thought that was kind of cool. One of the things they talked about was that they were told, and I actually thought of this theory recently because the universe is supposedly constantly expanding. And one of the things, the theories is once it gets expanded so far that the mass becomes so much weaker that black holes and everything are going to want to suck it back into itself. So there's a theory that the universe actually recollapses on itself into a single point, and then boom, Big Bang happens again, and then it expands back out. So there's just this constant cycle of it expanding and then retracting. It's called I think it's called the Big Crunch. Is what they call it. And I had thought of this theory one night, and then I ended up looking it up. I wonder if anybody else has thought of this. And sure enough, it was actually already thought about theory. And then they talked about it in this article too. And I was like, what the heck? What are the chances of that? I had thought this up, and now I'm reading about my same idea that I came up with in this article. I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, apparently altered frequencies can do that. And that's how I had talked about this with the guy today as I was talking about that magnet. Because that kind of does the same thing where it changes, the frequencies in your brain and whatnot. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Oh, I know what it was. So I was talking about this magnet, and I told him I've been having. So one of the settings on it is for if enhancing dreams, basically. So if you want some really vivid, real crazy dreams, there's a setting that is for that, changes your REM sleep a little bit. And I had last night just made the tweak on it and changed it to the dream state, and I had some crazy vivid dreams, and it was wild. Well. And I told him one of the dreams I had recently. It's another theory that came to me in my dream. And kind of on the same topic here that we're talking about with the universe and everything going on, and the idea that when it crunches back together, basically it starts over again. Possibly we live life again, right? It's just this cycle of us living lives over and over, but they might not be the same. It might be some things change. Each time around we live another life. Maybe there's some differences. Maybe there's some things that are the same. And here's my theory. In my dream, I saw a painting of the Starry Night. And when I saw it in my dream, for some reason it triggered like a remembrance where I said, man, like, this is super familiar. Like it almost, something told me that this painting has more meaning than it seems. And my theory is that certain paintings, because I've been asking people now, what's the first painting that comes to your mind, like a old school painting or something that is very significant painting wise? And most people say either Starry Night, Mona Lisa. I think those are the only two answers I've gotten. There was a third one. I can't remember what it was, but basically the same 3 to 4 paintings are always what people say. And my theory is that every time the universe collapses and it resets, and then it expands, and here we go again, back, we live another life of some sort. There are some things that are constant. And I'm thinking it has to do with art, music. So certain, basically arty things are always going to be there no matter what. And I think, this is just a theory, guys. I think I don't know if you guys have heard this thought that people get overtaken by like a muse. So like when they paint or when they write music and do different things, something comes over them and basically helps them create or helps them think up something. I wonder if that muse is something overtaking you to keep that, whatever it is, constant. So it's always the same. Whereas in a different life or a different universe, it might, like something like a different painting that wasn't like that might be changing every time. Whereas this one specifically is always the same. And it helps you, it's like a trigger. It helps you remember. Because I remember the first time I still to this day remember the first time I saw that Starry Night painting at my buddy's house. And for some reason, it felt so familiar. I was like, I've seen this before. I don't know why or how I've seen this, but I just knew I had. And it's really crazy to think about stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, enough about me, but I thought that was cool. I thought I'd share that with you guys. I like talking crazy world and universe theories and stuff that makes you think, It's always, what if? Yeah, the first game went really well, man. We steamrolled that guy. Let's go Limbo. Build up some energy here. All right, let's see. We got our Charlemagne. We got the great pendulum. Somebody actually the other day sent out a comment, and they were like, yeah, you need to do a video of you trying to say all these words because it's hilarious. I know it's hilarious. I can't help it. Some of these I just butcher so bad. Yeah, I might do a video like that just for kicks. Just to see how many of y'all tune in. That's what I want to do. Aw, we finally lost a round. This sucks. So you guys know I love my alien topics. I was actually perusing articles again the other day on UFOs because I think I saw like in like the last week, like 3 UFOs supposedly got shot down by the U.S. One was shot over Alaska. One was shot over Lake Huron. And there was another one. I can't remember the location. But yeah, like 3 different UFOs got shot down like in the last week. apparently something crazy going on out here. But I clicked on that article and was reading about it, and then I saw another article that was talking about a theory, a conspiracy theory, and I was like, I got to click on this. And it was Project Bluebeam. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of this, but it's called Project Bluebeam. And it kind of blew my mind a little bit because I'm like, God, if this is real, if this is what's really going on with all this alien stuff, I'm going to be super ticked off. And it's the theory that the government's been doing all this on purpose, basically pretending like they staged the Roswell thing. They staged all these. Every time we see something in the sky that's unusual, they do it on purpose. They have like these, what's called like beams of light they shoot up, and it makes it look like there's these craft running around all crazy in the sky. And it's the idea that they do it because they want eventually to make it look like there's an alien invasion or some type of antichrist situation where basically the world's coming to an end and they can unite everybody, the entire world, in a common enemy to form a world government instead of having how it is now. That's supposedly the theory. And I was like, that's crazy. Can you imagine if that's true? They've actually been manipulating and staging this generational, like, they've been doing that. I mean, Roswell was in the 50s, right? Or 40s or 50s? I think it was 50s. But imagine, since the 50s, they've been staging these events all over the world to get us ready and prepped for this big hoax. A surprise! Aliens are invading us. I just thought that was crazy. I don't know. But yeah, apparently they've been talking about it for. There was a book that I read. It said something about a book that came out in the 70s that this guy wrote about it, and basically said all this theory about this conspiracy theory. But supposedly since then, several of the things in this book that he wrote about that were going to happen have happened. I think one of them was the pandemic. Talking about that as a way also to try to basically do the same thing. A failed attempt, but several other things that I have to figure out what book this is. I kind of want to check it out, but supposedly this guy wrote a book and a bunch of stuff in it has come true, and this is one of the things in that book that he talks about. So interested in the idea, the theory. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that is possible? At this point, it just seems almost impossible to me that could be the case, that it's staged. But maybe it is. Dang, I should have played Charlemagne there. Yeah, we had a huge lead. We didn't need to play our limbo. Our limbo was up to 270. Kind of a waste there. Is this a space tech deck we're beating? It seems a little crazy. This deck's good, but space tech good? I don't know about that. Or is he just... What is he doing? If he's playing one card, then maybe he's just giving up. He just thinks we're too good. He's like, dude, foreplay? Nah, bro. Can't compete? I'm not that good, though. I'm really not that good, guys. I mean, I'm okay, right? I'm decent, but... To, like, straight give up on me? Yeah, see, he's got some power hiding over there. Strange. $400. He needs $600. He could probably get it. Close. Ooh, he made it close, but not enough. It was that one turn. He just played one card. He probably could have won that. Strange. All right, guys. Well, that's the deck for the night. Hopefully you enjoyed and all my crazy talk, as always. You know, some videos I like to do that for you guys. Kind of go a little down the rabbit hole and make things interesting. But hopefully if you listen to my ramblings this long that you enjoyed the video. And as always, please hit that like button and that